Back on Sports Overtime, Dave Griffiths with NBCSports.com's Bruce Martin. And Bruce, if we're doing an INDYCAR off-season wrap-up, there's only one place to start, and that's at Indianapolis Motor Speedway with a new owner. Roger Penske takes over. What's your overall takeaway from what we heard just a few weeks ago with Roger Penske owning now Indianapolis
My
Motor Speedway?
takeaway is I keep waiting for the off-season to start because it hasn't really happened. There have been some major storylines that have happened virtually a week after the INDYCAR Series season ended back on September 22nd. Roger Penske taking over the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the Indy 500, INDYCAR, and IMS Productions, probably the biggest story to happen in auto racing in the last 50 years. Certainly the biggest story to happen in auto racing in the current century. Mm-hmm. And there's nobody better suited to continue, take it to the next level than Roger Penske, because he has an enormous amount of contacts in the business world, in the sponsorship industry, a lot of things. I'll give you a perfect example. Mark Miles said they had been working on a potential sponsor, had been unable to get all the key people together for a conference call. Roger Penske found out about it the very next day. The CMO, the CEO, the CFO were all on a conference call with Penske and with Mark Miles. When Roger Penske calls, people answer the phone.
You mentioned just the way that Roger Penske, can bring people together and can increase, I guess, the notoriety of whatever he's working on, whether it's INDYCAR or Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and I guess boost it up to a next level. Is there anything specific between one of those two, specifically INDYCAR or the Speedway, that you think really needs more or can have a significant boost, maybe even one more so than the other for any reason?
A third engine manufacturer would be very important to the series. It would be important to the Indianapolis 500, because right now the car count is determined by how many engines Chevrolet and Honda are able to meet with their capacity. A lot of people would love to see 40, 45 cars entered for the Indianapolis 500, but that's not going to happen when Honda can supply 18 and Chevy can supply 15. You know, the numbers aren't going to exceed 40 cars. If you bring in a third engine manufacturer, now all of a sudden you can see an increase in car numbers. You also get an increase in marketing dollars, in promotion, and in competition. And I think that one of the big things from an INDYCAR side that Roger Penske can do is to help finally bring in a third engine manufacturer. He is involved in his automotive businesses and in auto racing. He's involved with every manufacturer. He's a Ford team in NASCAR, a Chevrolet team in INDYCAR, a Acura team in IMSA, and he has contacts in the across the board. And I think that if anybody can get another engine manufacturer to commit to INDYCAR, it could be Roger Penske and his vast network of sources.
Well, it'd certainly be fun to have more cars at Indianapolis Motor Speedway throughout the month of May leading up to the Indy 500. Right now, there are seemingly more drivers than cars available who want to be in the INDYCAR series. A couple really big names, Bruce, still free agents at this time as the season is approaching. You got James Hinchcliffe, perhaps the biggest name of them all, also Sebastian Bourdais, Tony Kanaan. What's going on that all these guys are still kind of on the beach as the INDYCAR season is really starting to, you really need to be in a car sooner rather than later to be fully ready for week one?
Well, some of them may, if they don't make a move, may get stranded on the beach. And I really think that James Hinchcliffe is probably close to working on a deal. Who that's with, we don't know yet. Sebastian Bourdais, I mean, he was pretty distraught at the way that whole thing happened. You've got a young driver, Spencer Pigot, who showed enormous progress in his time with Ed Carpenter Racing. I'm not sure they'll all get rides. But if they don't get a ride with that, then they have to do the way that Connor Daly did it for all those years, try to get a good ride in the Indianapolis 500 and hope that you can impress somebody well enough that you can get a full-time ride later.
That's Bruce Martin. Check out all his work online, NBCSports.com. Sports Overtime. We'll be right back.